Hello and welcome to another episode of Behind the Build. We're here today with a very special guest. He's been in drifting since the beginning. He saw Florida drifting at its infancy. And now he's come back with a pro license to drive this RX7 behind us. Ryan Kaufman.
Let's go, here we are.
Ryan, you've been driving for a while?
Yeah, since 2006.
County line was a thing, maybe?
County line was huge. We had OSW still, that's where I grew up, and all we had was the bank. And literally, we didn't have county line first. We had OSW first, and then we had Hialeah Speedway, which were just banked oval tracks. And basically, that's all we got to practice with. And then finally, county line opened up, and then we got that like short course vibe. And then even funny enough, Formula D came here to Moroso, because it was Moroso back in the day, PBIR.
Yeah.
And they held a feeder series. And it was a competition to earn your Formula D Pro license to go compete at Laughlin, Nevada, and actually have a shot at winning your pro license. I won that event in Moroso, and Formula D paid me $2,400, covered all the expenses, and shipped us over there. And I competed against JTP in an RX7, Forrest Wang when he was young, and like nearly like regular green X14, not like what they are now. Like all the OGs, like June Mang, everybody, competed with everyone in that first event in Laughlin, and I placed like 23rd. So it really was like an eye-opener. I was like, dang, I'm good in Florida, but in the big spectrum, I'm like still got a lot to learn. But that was cool. That like gave me an idea that like, damn, I can win things and maybe go somewhere with this.
In the beginning, were you driving an RX-7?
No, I used to drive a Mazda Miata. And the reason why that came about is I got grounded and I had a Jeep and my parents took the Jeep away, and then I had to work to make enough money, and the cheapest thing I could afford that was rear-wheel drive was a Mazda Miata. So I started with that and eventually just did like a clutch and a differential. And that's all I did to the car, and we were literally hitting the bank at OSW, riding the wall with like 65 PSI in the rear, because like, you know, that's all we had back then.
With like a stock 1.6?
Stock 1.8, it was a 99.
Okay.
Yeah, so I learned on that, and then I eventually turboed it, competed in Nopi Drift, did fairly well in Nopi, but Nopi literally faded away the moment I jumped into it because it was their last year. So I did Englishtown at Nopi Drift, I did Palm Beach International Raceway. Nopi had an event there where I got to compete against MA Motorsports' Brian Wilkerson. That was cool when he used to drive. Just like a lot of OG stuff, you know, I've been in the game since forever. And then we also got shipped from like the span of 2009 to 2012, I got shipped to Aruba twice, Curacao 2 times, and Jamaica, and they shipped my car, paid us on top, and treated us like royalty, and we literally flew into this other country and like got to drift our cars for like a 3-day demo, and then we put them back in the containers and they shipped them back, and we ended up doing that for, I think it was the span of 3 years.
Yeah.
And we got to keep going back and forth, so
yeah,
that was
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was like a big spectacle. Like, I mean, it was at these tracks that didn't really see drifting at this level, so it was like, oh, these were the pros at that time, when there wasn't so much saturation when it came to FD and all that. FD was still what, 600 horsepower at the most?
Yeah, exactly.
So like you guys with 3.4 was like, whoa, that's a lot.
Yep, we all had LSs, and when we came to the islands, everyone was like, a Chevy, this is the most amazing thing ever. They were like, how much for this car right now? They're like trying to buy it from us. We're like, I don't know about that, you know?
Fast forward, I know that you took a gap. When did the RX7 become a thing?
So basically, I was buying and selling cars. I'm very similar to Chelsea, because Chelsea and I both grew up together, and we were both always hustling, buying and selling cars. I would buy cars and I wouldn't bring them to my house because my parents would be like, why do you have so many cars, this and that? So I stored it at my girlfriend's sister's house. I bought this LS swapped FC. I was like, my parents can't see it. They don't need to know that I have another drift car because I still had the Miata. And I got it for a steal, and I was like, it'll just sit there. It sat there for 2 years before I even touched it. And then I finally got a shop, started wrenching on it, and finally built it up to a car that I had like a real roll cage into and could compete. That was towards the end, because when I was going to Curacao and Jamaica the last couple times, we actually shipped the RX7. The first couple Aruba and Curacao events was with the Miata. It's probably 2010, 2011 is when I got the RX7, and that same one that I won the US Drift Series Championship with is that exact same chassis that I was shipped all across, you know, to those islands with. That was super rad to do that much with that chassis, and now this is an entirely new FC chassis that I built from the bare bones shell, similar to Colette, and this is what it is now.
So you mentioned you had the old chassis. I witnessed you pretty much demolish everybody during US Drift.
there was 4 rounds, 2 of them I took first, and the last round I took 4th.
Okay.
So the last round was a good battle.
Okay.
Like everyone was really on their game.
That's what I remember. We were just hanging out, and then you'd be like, "Oh, it's my time to drive. Let me just go down."
Yeah.
Super chill guy. Like, I mean, just hanging out, watching everybody drive from like afar in the spectator area. And he's like, "Oh, I got to drive," and then just run down. And
I try to just focus on having fun and not worrying about win or lose, and just, I'm a very competitive person. I just want to get the opportunity to compete with people who are amazing. And that was my closest option, was US Drift. And previous to that, it was Clutch Kickers. And then when I did well at US Drift and I got the opportunity to do Pro Spec, everyone was like, everyone says you're not gonna do it, not gonna do it. And I was on the fence. And then I thought about the business, Taxi Garage, and what it might do for us. And me as a driver with the notoriety that we've already gained through Taxi Garage, I just thought, well, this might be a new opportunity for us that might be way bigger than what I can physically imagine. And the opportunity to compete at that level is also a huge thing for me, because I'm just such a competitive driven person that I just thought, you know what, if I've got any other chance, it's now. So here we are, had to take it.
you are one of the owners as well,
yeah,
right?
there's 3 owners.
Okay, so you, Charlie, and Nick?
Exactly.
All right, so me and Nick are a little bit closer, and Mr. Kaufman over here, like, I knew him throughout the years from far away, but now we're a lot cooler.
Definitely.
Like, especially he's been driving a lot more. He took that gap in between. You had a child?
It was about an 8-year, 9-year gap that I took. Basically, I just wanted to be a dad, you know?
Yeah.
I wanted to focus on being home with him, and I would leave work every day super early, make sure I spent my time with my son to kind of cultivate the little minion that I wanted. And now he's 12 and he's a super rad dude. He shreds with us on the crazy karts all the time, and stoked. I just thought, you know, now's the time. He's of the right age where he can start to travel and do these fun things. It's been a long time coming to be here, and like this was always the dream, to be in Formula Drift, and now to have this opportunity with the Taxi Garage team behind me. I think, like I said, it's no better time than now, and why not take it?
Well, that's enough of a backstory. I think we know a lot about Ryan. I want to know about this car.
So basically we have a Harrop 2650 supercharger on a 408 LS. So this is a steel block bottom end. It's a 6-liter originally, and it's not bored, it's just simply stroked. So it has more travel on the crank, allowing us to have more displacement. That's why we're 408. Basically just all your standard stuff that you see on every drift car. We've got the rear mount radiator. We've got the Dash 20 AN lines feeding all of that. We've got the heat exchanger up front. We've got a power steering cooler and an oil cooler, all in a V-mount configuration. I've got a KRC power steering pump. I think it's a Power Master alternator. Those are really good. I've got a Power Master starter as well. That thing's awesome. And we are running the factory LSA drive belt setup, which after 2.5 years of running this at just below 600 horsepower through my last competitions, I've had 0 issues with the belt, which is kind of something everyone says, oh, you get a drift car, you're gonna throw the belt, this and that. And if you stick to the LSA drive, I firmly believe that Chevy has more engineers than any other company making their own drive systems, and that is the reason why this belt system is so durable and resilient when you're blipping the throttle so much in drift. So I strongly suggest, if you are considering supercharger, make sure you're running the LSA drive. It makes a big difference.
Amen. I really like how you did this shroud. Like, it feeds the 2 coolers right here like perfectly.
It was a lot of work to make this shroud.
And the heat exchange as well.
Yeah.
Wow,
so
I didn't even see that.
It's a full V-mount setup, and like you can see, it's multiple pieces that I welded together up top. And then like the actual bracket that holds these is the top part of the duct. And then the other bracket is this like,
I'll hold it.
This thing down here.
So you did all the welding?
I do all my own fabrication and welding. I'm also the manufacturer for Sean Love Racing. So if you're familiar with, you know, other guys in BMWs driving on those angle kits, I'm the guy that's been welding and making those products for Sean for the last 7 years.
So wait, you're still at SLR?
I'm not at SLR.
But you could do...
He contracts me to produce the products. I just manufacture the chromoly control arms for all of his kits. I don't make the CNC parts, I don't make the spacers, I simply am just the manufacturer of the chromoly control arms. So everything Adam used to run, everything, you know, Dylan Hughes used to run, Micah Diaz, all those people were on SLR. At some point, they were all arms that I welded, same with Chelsea.
Wow. So you've been really heavy into the drift world, especially in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. I've been creating parts for the drifting scene since 2017. That's when I started my own business, RK Metalworks, where I'm a manufacturing facility for companies like Sean Love Racing and other small companies. And that's also why we started Taxi Garages, because I created a product line that me and my friends believed in so much that we joined forces to start selling together because I was able to manufacture it at a low rate. So it just made sense.
Well, good stuff. I'm definitely driven on arms that you've welded and put together.
Exactly. And that's what's crazy. A lot of people have no clue, but most of the stuff is stuff I've welded. What's crazy is I do run an FDF front angle kit on this. I did not make my own angle kit. I actually think Josiah is amazing at creating kits. This new V2 RX7 angle kit is the bee's knees. Honestly, amazing, changes the car.
I like how the arms kind of look like E36.
Yeah, they kind of look like the OEM ones, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then it's front rack and all that. Maybe that's why it's good. And it's trailing arm rear.
I like,
wait a second.
Exactly. I like that also he kept it like the OE ball joint. The ball joint's bolt on.
No way.
So if you crash, that ball joint is replaceable. So I have a bunch of those.
So it's just the end instead of the arm. So
exactly.
Shear those bolts before it does anything else.
Or bend the outer cup.
Cool.
I don't know, I have 2 more full kits. So if I destroy either one of these, I have 2 more full kits. When I ran single spec coilovers, even another brand name, did not have the results. I worked with Cody and Garrett at BC Racing, and these ERs, the way they're set up, have literally defined what I can do with the car now. So honestly, not just a plug, it's the FDF angle kit and those BCs have made the biggest difference on my car.
How would you describe having an external reservoir? As far as adjustability, or can you actually feel it?
You can feel it. I don't really play with the compression. Chelsea kind of guides me in that aspect where he says just do the rebound, you know, and we did a private day. He kind of told me what to do and gave me some suggestions. I haven't done everything he suggested, but the car is also very fast in forward, like bite. So in drift, it handles differently than any of the other cars that I've competed against. So I think there is some type of edge with this chassis that people aren't really, you know, aware of yet. But with the external reservoirs, it was a huge difference. I just think it's the valving and the way it responds to rebound adjustment, that like one click. Normally you're like, there's no way you could feel that, right? Like people say that. With one click, I can feel it in the car. It's crazy. It makes that much of a difference. Kind of hard to debate when I like, you know, you can feel it, you know? So many people choose to adjust the camber on these cars with the subframe tilt, which I prefer not to. It's just like you're changing a lot of things every time. And then the differential, if it's hard mounted to the subframe, you can't change the tilt. So mine is hard mounted to the subframe, so my tilt is locked. But what I do is I actually made individual adjustable links for each of the trailing arm. So that makes the biggest difference because when you have to do overall camber adjustment, which is all most people have, you'll get one side that's like 1 degree and then the other one's like 0.2 degree and there's nothing you can do. I don't know, that's worked for me. And it's been very consistent in having a lot of speed out the hole and in drift. We've got a G-force in the car, and then obviously the body kit is still coming together. You'll see that when the car's finished and debuted officially at Formula Drift Pro Spec Round 1 in Atlanta. We've got our Link ECU powering the car with our Link Strata Dash. We've got an ECU Master 24 with also the ECU Master keypad, running all the outputs on the car. And we've run the Rad Dan kill switch and the Rad Dan fire suppression pull cable. So those were actually super awesome to install. They make it very easy for offsetting the switches so you can make everything usable. Highly suggest purchasing those if you're building a high-end car. And then of course we've got our China carbon doors. We've got our China Gana doors.
Oh, Gana door.
Yeah. And yeah, no, we've got a lot of stuff going on with this car. Motegi's always helped out with the car. I'm rocking the Battle still. We do have a newer set of Battles that are going to be debuted, not the same color, with the new wrap and the new livery, so you'll see that in a couple weeks here. We've got the rear mount PWR radiator with some nice duct work that I've done. The Fuel Lab 1500 horsepower capable brushless pump with a single lift pump running to that brushless pump. And we are running dash 10 all the way up to the feed on the engine, and we are running a dash 8 return. And honestly, we just made some serious horsepower. Thank you to Spec Tuned. Killing it with the dyno time on this, and thank you to the compound and everybody here because we just made some amazing numbers with what I thought. I was just nervous all day, and after seeing that, I'm beyond elated. So very excited and happy to be here.
How much power did you make before with the old chassis? Because it was the same supercharger, but a different engines. You had a stock 6.0 before?
It was a stock 5.3.
5.3.
It was a $500 junkyard motor we bought in Colorado, in Pueblo, because we were at Grid Life. I blew the motor. We changed it overnight. It worked till 5 a.m. in the morning. It snowed. We woke up, started the car, drove the rest of Grid Life, and then we went to Drift Mansion, drove again, Then I used that motor for probably half a year until I supercharged it, took it apart, gapped the rings, put it back together, and ran that same supercharger on it, the 5.3, and I made 580 and 630 foot-pounds of torque. And then I ran that for 2 years with 0 issues. I didn't do anything other than change the oil. You know, that was a great statement to Chevy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Simplicity is best.
I agree.
Like, how are you gonna knock a 1960s design of a push rod V8? It just works. And you can find 90% of your parts at the parts store.
Exactly that reason. We travel so much that I would prefer a rotary, but it's not viable for us with the amount that we travel. I would love to be a 3-rotor in this car with the amount of money I've spent. I could have easily done that doing everything, but it just was not viable to run it and travel and ship the car and do all these different things with it. So the V8 was the way to go.
So one thing I want to point out back here is you were one of the first people to put a quick change into an RX7, because at the same time we were doing Colette's.
Exactly.
Hers.
Colette and I were messaging photos back and forth. She had hers done just before me, so I kind of got to have some, you know, insight on what she had done. But I kind of did my own version of it. Obviously, it's still yet to be tested to see how stout and amazing it is. So fingers crossed, I'm a good fabricator and made something that works.
I mean, we're gonna find out in a few.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll let you know. You'll either see a diff on the ground or you'll see me smiling, which I'll probably still be smiling, so I don't know. So yeah, no, thanks to Colette. She actually connected me through Drive Shaft Shop, and I was able to work out getting the correct axles and the drive shaft for this car, which are all custom. Got a very sick set of parts from them, and great turnaround time, great communication, and I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but very happy with the product and service they offered. Shout out to them.
Very simple car.
So it seems.
You have the dual calipers, you got the Z32 brake in the rear.
Yep, stock calipers on the car all the way around.
Even the front?
Yeah. Those are factory four pin.
Yeah, exactly. Factory comes with like a massive brake for what it was in the 80s, 90s. Not too much else to talk about other than it's a car and it functions, and we have the LZ compound at our disposal since Adam is out of town and I'm over here in front of camera. You know what we can do? He can test his car.
The boys will play while Dad is away.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what happened?
I forgot the ignition button.
Oh shit.
My.
Yeah, you told him the floor, right?
Holy.
It sounds amazing.
Sounds okay.
Oh God, he's always so.
It's not a 2JZ, man.
He's always so meh.
This guy RB what?
Yeah.
2JZ.
Yeah. Yeah, that felt nasty like a video game. That was fun. That was what drifting really is. Holy crap. I could have just shifted up and kept burning out. That was crazy. I was in second. That was insane. Like I don't have jitters right now, but I feel like, yeah, like that was awesome, you know? It feels really good. Like the car just feels like not hesitating. Like it feels like you can do like a Sean Booth and like sit on the rev limiter and like actually still be building momentum and shit. It's sick.
That's a good testament to this guy.
Yeah.
Sick, dude.
So
Normally I hit rev limiter and I'm actually at the right speed to be on rev limiter, but like now with this setup, I'm on rev limiter and I'm just like building momentum very intensely. It felt so predictable. It was amazing.
in tuner words, what exactly is happening at rev limiter?
I did my part. I don't fucking know. This is the copy and paste rev limiter from Ben Hobson.
Is it really?
Yeah. Because Ben didn't blow a blower belt and he didn't blow his valve train. So I'm like, okay, well, Ben did a good job. So I just put the same limiter on every LS and have the same limiter for every 2J or 1J, 2J, whatever.
It sounds so
And if it's
good.
SR20, the same limiter as well. That one's not cool at all. But it keeps the rockers on.
And now you're just checking the logs to make sure everything is cool?
Yeah.
Dude, car feels the best it's ever felt. Massive testament to Freddie and his tuning. It's honestly so drivable. I was cruising, no bucking, no weird down low on and off throttle stuff, which we all know people have gone to tuners and then you leave and then you drive it down the road and the car's like, and your neck's broken. We didn't think we were gonna crack a certain number with horsepower today, and then he blew past that number and just made magic, as he always does. Freddie at Spec Tune, baby. Come get some.
It was super cool having you here, dude.
Shout out to Adam LZ for letting me rip on the compound while he's away. Super stoked to be here. This place is a dream for all drifters all around, and couldn't be more blessed to have a chance to shake down my new Pro Spec car here at Adam LZ's compound. Thank you all.
So watch Formula Drift. He's gonna be doing the thing. Like, comment, subscribe. Ryan.
Send it.
That's not bad for your...
That's a good first layout.
Oh, as I totaled the car. It's actually super intuitive. I actually really like it. If I had 30 grand to blow, I would probably blow it on this. Not another crap car in my shop. This I could waste all day with and just have fun and not go through tires and cost more money.
Can't break a
Right?
single part.
That's amazing. That felt